This is the continuation of previous chapter. Do read them first to understand the story better. Kindly read as you hear for better experience.
Jungkook's POV. "Boss, I found the data analysis copy," she said on the phone. "Thank God, great, you guys continue and I'll be there soon," I responded. The meeting started on its scheduled time. Everything went smoothly and we sealed the deal. The office was filled with joy, with everyone celebrating, dancing, and singing. After 3 years of hard work on the project, we finally made it a day. Overwhelmed with tears of happiness as I admired our success. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Wyan's dad. I quickly answered, "Hello, Dad. How are you?" "I'm good," he replied. "Actually, I'm a little worried. Wyan came home today and she was crying, saying she'll never go back. I am very worried. She didn't tell us anything. If guys had a fight, it's okay. Fights do happen, but we can always solve it." "Oh shit, I completely forgot about her," I thought to myself. "Don't worry, Dad. It's just a little misunderstanding. I'll come right away and I'll sort it out." As I sat in my car, I scolded myself. How did I forget about her? It was the last hour before the meeting. I was extremely tense and angry because we couldn't find our analytics report. I thought it might be at home, so I rushed to check, only to find my wardrobe completely changed. I was angry and frustrated, and seeing my wardrobe all changed accelerated my anger further, and I ended up venting all my anger on her. Finally, things were getting better between us, and I messed it all up. I'll have to ask for her pardon, I said to myself. When I reached her house, I greeted her dad with a warm, "Hello," and he hugged me back. He looked worried, and I could see the concern in his eyes. It must be very difficult for him to see his daughter crying. I felt guilty for troubling him. "Don't worry, I'll take care of everything and talk to her," I reassured him, making him sit in the sofa. I climbed the stairs to her room and knocked on the door, but there was no response. "Seems like she is extremely angry," I exclaimed. "Knocking is not going to work," I mumbled to myself. I walked to the garden and found the windows of her room open just as he had expected. Climbing in, I saw her sobbing with her head buried in the bed. A feeling of guilt washed over me. I knew I'd hurt her enough. I approached her slowly, gently rubbing my hand on her back. "Ian," I said softly. She panicked, raising her head to look at me. She was confused, but then she saw through window. I think she understood. "Wyan," I tried again. "I don't want to hear anything," she said, cutting me off, wiping her tears and heading towards the door. I couldn't let her go, so I caught her hand and pulled her towards me. "I am so sorry. I was tense about my project, and I vented all my anger on you," I said, trying to hold her close as she struggled to escape my grasp. "Let me go," she said, still struggling. "Wyan, please listen to me. I am really sorry," I said, holding her tightly in a hug. She kept trying to break free, but I couldn't let her slip away. "I love you. Yen, I love you so much," I finally confessed, the feelings I had kept within me for years. She calmed down upon hearing me and stayed still for a while. "You are lying. You have never loved me," she said, pushing me away from the hug. I could see tears in her eyes. "I have loved you and only you ever since we were in kindergarten," I confessed. "You never talked to me nor looked at me in these 7 months of our marriage," she spoke in a broken voice. "That's because you didn't want to stay with me. You also shifted all your things from my room and decided to settle in another room," I replied. "I never wanted to shift. It was you who told me that if I was uncomfortable, I should settle in a different room. I thought you didn't want to stay with me." "Why would you ask your wife to settle in a different room?" she asked, crying. "I thought you had feelings for Minho and you might want your space." "That's why I told you to shift if you were uncomfortable. I thought you would stay, but you shifted. So, I decided to give you space until you were comfortable," I explained. "Why would you think I like Minho?" she asked, looking confused. "Because you always liked him. When we were in kindergarten, you always chose him as your partner," I replied. "Like seriously, we were kids then. He is just a friend and nothing more," she explained. "On our marriage day, I saw you crying while hugging him," I revealed the reason. "Come on, Jungkook. That's because I saw him after 19 years, so I got emotional." And for your information, he is married and has a baby, she replied. I felt stupid for assuming things. I had nothing to say. We stood there, looking at each other. I am so sorry for everything, I said, genuinely apologetic. Will you give me another chance? I'll try to fix everything this time, I added, with sincerity in my voice. I saw a smile appear on her lips, and more tears fell from her eyes. I am sorry too, she began to say, but before she could finish, I pulled her into a kiss. So now will you come home with me? I asked, breaking the kiss. She nodded, her face all red. I couldn't help but smile at their cuteness. Your dad is really worried for you. You should go talk to him, I told her. We walked down the stairs to where her dad was sitting. I'm sorry, Dad, Wyan said, hugging him. I'm sorry too for causing you trouble, I said. I will make sure it never repeats in the future, I added apologetically. I am happy that both of you patched up, he said, patting my shoulder and kissing In's head. We were driving back home. A cold, soothing breeze was blowing. Soft music played, and there was happiness all around. Everything looks beautiful when you are in love. And then, it started to rain. Stop the car, she said. I stopped, and she got out, walking towards my side and opening the door. Come out, she said, extending her hand. I unbuckled my seatbelt and walked out, holding her hand. What are we doing? I asked, confused. It's the first rain of the year and we are going to dance, she said, pulling me into the rain. Isn't the first rain the acid rain? I asked. Just shut up and dance, she said, cutely annoyed. And then we danced. I feel happy to see her happy. I hope we always stay like this forever. I just pray that she always have reasons to smile, and there is no misunderstanding between us.
Thanks for watching. Turn on the notifications for next update. Take care. See you.